Here's a quick write-up about Fatima if you do not know what it is already. Video starts now. There are 4 possibilities of what happened at the Miracle of the Sun. 1. The witnesses saw merely a naturally occurring event. 2. The witnesses were experiencing a hallucination or optical effect. 3. The witnesses were lying. Or 4. The witnesses saw a miracle. I'm going to show why the first 3 are wrong. It's improbable that the witnesses were observing a naturally occurring event. The most commonly proposed natural event is a phenomenon known as a sundog. A sundog is a rare meteorological phenomenon that occurs when ice crystals in the atmosphere refract sunlight, creating bright spots or halos around the sun. However, there are some key problems with this explanation. First, sundogs typically occur near the horizon, shortly after sunrise or just before sunset. The Miracle of the Sun, however, took place at high noon, when the sun was at its zenith. In all my research, I couldn't find a single documented case of a sundog occurring under Fatima-esque conditions. Even if a sundog could happen at high noon, we then have to explain how 3 uneducated rural children living in an impoverished part of Portugal would have known about such a rare and specific meteorological phenomenon in advance. While it's technically possible that the seers at Fatima could have predicted a rare natural event like a sundog at extremely rare conditions for said sundog, the evidence overwhelmingly suggests otherwise. They had no education, no scientific knowledge, and no access to information that would allow them to foresee such a rare event. Add to the fact that they endured imprisonment, ridicule from their parents, scorn from their communities, condemnation from religious authorities, and threats from the government, all without ever recanting. Other explanations for a natural event have the same issues as just outlined.
Could the Miracle of the Sun have been a mass hallucination or an optical effect caused by staring at the sun? No. There are no examples in history of mass hallucinations on this scale. Tens of thousands of people, estimated between 30 to 100,000, witnessed the Miracle of the Sun, with many providing independent accounts of what they saw. When researching examples of mass hallucinations of this magnitude, the only event even remotely comparable commonly cited by atheists is Fatima itself, an event that, of course, was not a hallucination. Critics often argue that staring at the sun can cause hallucinations. While it's true that prolonged exposure to the sun can damage your eyes, part of the miracle was that the people were able to look directly at the sun without experiencing pain. Normally, we instinctively turn away from the sun because of the intense pain and discomfort it causes. Yet, during the Miracle of the Sun, no one reported pain, blindness, or eye damage, not even in the hours or days following the event. Could there have been atmospheric conditions that made it safe to look at the sun? Possibly, but even in those rare instances, the sun would still cause damage, whether or not pain was felt. The lack of any reports of blindness in the 30 to 100,000 person crowd is highly unusual. Now, what about the idea that people hallucinated because they expected to see a miracle? This might explain some of the witnesses' accounts, but not all. What about the skeptics and the unbelievers who saw the miracle, despite being preconditioned to not see a miracle? Their testimony does not fit this theory. To steelman the critic's position, let's say a combination of factors, perfect atmospheric conditions, a sundog, sun-induced hallucinations, and group influence all occurred simultaneously. Even if all this were granted, you would still have to contend with how the children knew the event was going to take place on this day. Could this have all been an elaborate hoax? For this to have been a lie, tens of thousands of people would have had to be in on the deception, an almost impossible feat. Think about the scope of involvement. Witnesses from all walks of life, including religious believers, skeptics, atheists, journalists from Portugal's largest newspapers, all of whom reported on the events. Why would such a diverse group conspire together to maintain a lie? Consider the children at the center of it all. As we talked about earlier, they endured immense pressure to recant their testimony. If their story had been a fabrication, why endure such extraordinary suffering when they could have simply admitted it was false and returned to their normal lives? When you combine the children's unwavering conviction with the sheer number of witnesses, the credibility of contemporary documentation, and the diversity of those involved, the idea that this could have been a hoax collapses under its weight. The evidence speaks for itself. The only remaining explanation is that the witnesses experienced a genuine miracle. Through this miracle, Our Lady conveyed a clear message to repent and offer sacrifices for the conversion of sinners. For more information about the message of Fatima, please refer to the description. If you want more people to see this video, please like and subscribe so that YouTube will recommend it to other people. If you want to support otherwise, I am a broke
student, so if you want to see more of these, consider donating in the description to my channel fund, or pray for me in the channel. These take a real long time to make, so thanks for watching, and put any suggestions at all down below in the comment section.